Best signs is on the block. How we gonna eat? All right, so Loma Linda FMG existing monument retrofit faces. So we'll go over that real quick. Here's the parts breakdown. So it's pretty much all 090 and white acrylic. So you've got all your main panel faces, and you've got 14 of the backer pieces there. Urgent care panels, just went ahead and put them on a separate page, keep them separate. We've got the backers, the actual backer skin plate, whatever you want to call it. And these are going to be for mounting. I'm going to go over that. And everything's all white acrylic backed up. So we've got urgent care here, and each one's numbered for which one they go on. So that's that. Pretty simple. Nothing major for fab. I would like to go over the install here in a bit. I would like whoever's going to be installing this to actually watch this. Jonathan, we talked about different things. Maybe Jonathan also watch this, pass it on to whoever's going to be installing this. So we'll go over that. But first for fab, it's all straightforward. Bend, shoot your studs, weld in your ends. These ends are symmetrical, so it doesn't matter either way, however they go in. So you've got 7 on each side. It's a double-sided monument. Let's get the lay of the land on the monument. So here's what we got. It's the urgent care here is just replacing the face, and then this frame system with slide track, the stuff that we've used before. There it is right there. So that's the existing stuff. The idea was to sort of the idea is we're just adding another one in. So there's 6 here and they wanted 7. But in order for us to fit within this and all that, the track wasn't going to work. So that's why we're going with the foldy boxes method like we do. It's going to be easier on everybody, more room, it's going to look cleaner. So anyways, that's the retro part there. So for fab, it's not really anything of your concern too much. All you need to do is bend up these boxes, get them studded and welded, and then you're done there. And then bend up these backer pieces, 14 of them. You're going to, 1, 1, 2, 2. And then these are symmetrical, doesn't matter, left, right, up, down, they're the same. And then you're going to lords each of these onto the backer panels, right on the face. So you're just going to line them up, cleco them up. The outer perimeter is going to be like a beauty ring. So you can see where the red here is the actual panel layout. See, so these panels are going to be only an 1/8 inch apart from each other once this whole system's in place. Just going to kind of look like that. So they'll just be tucked in next to each other, no hardware. If anything, you maybe can undercook. I have 0.03 on both sides here. If you undercook the blue a little bit, it'll give it a shoebox kind of tight friction, seal. Maybe that'll help, and you'll have your 2 number 10s on the ends. So that's kind of how it's going to look when it's all done. This is 3/4 of an inch, so it's sort of like a beauty ring, that the whole thing, and then that keeps it as a one big system. So you're probably not going to send it out with the faces on, but at least with the backer pieces, it's one nice strong system. Now, once you get this all lordsed up and clecoed, I'm saying that we don't rivet the outer perimeter. The outer perimeter needs to stay smooth because it has to sit on the existing face once it gets chopped out. So, it's got to be flush and clean right there. So don't put any rivets around the perimeter, but you're okay in this area, in the inner meat, if you want to go ahead and, speed things along, you can shoot rivets all through here. That's fine. These holes here are redundant in each frame. I didn't want to set up this one's on the top, this one's on the bottom. So when these lords on, these holes in the middle will look like I forgot something, but don't worry about it. There's only the perimeter mounting holes on this thing around the outside for install to mount this to the existing sign. So don't worry about if you see that these holes aren't drilled through, don't worry about that. So anyway, feel free to throw rivets here if you feel like it. No rivets on the outer perimeter. All right, so once you have this all lordsed up and riveted up and everything, then you can go ahead and cut out these supports. I left 3 supports in each of these frames here because these are pushing 70 inches, and to have this kind of noodly in the break and all that. So this will give a little bit of support. Plus when you put this all together, it'll help hold it in place. And then once you have all these, nailed down, then duck saw, Sawzall, however, cutting wheel, just chop all those braces out. And then you'll be, this whole thing will be good to go and you're done, out to paint. So yeah, with urgent care, same thing. Bend, shoot studs, weld up the ends. These two are out to paint. So couldn't get easier for that. So this is the part where install. Here's where we have some issues. I was talking to Jonathan. He kind of took a look at this. There's many more pictures, but these are kind of the ones that'll make sense. So we don't really know how this is attached, this frame sticking out. Once this gets sort of chopped out, I'm not quite sure what's going to be left for this to attach to, this beauty ring. So, and my new term is best guessing, so pun intended. So I didn't see that there was very much room here to bonk up against. So I kept this beauty ring. So essentially, this gray frame is the size of the boxes themselves. So the overall box size from here to here mimics that frame. So what I did is I created this backer that has 3/4 of an inch beauty ring all the way around. So that buys us a little bit of space. So worst case scenario, best case scenario is that once this frame here gets chopped out, hopefully there's skin that goes underneath and the opening is actually like here, right? Ignore this for a second. And so hopefully if the skin opening goes here, then fine. You're gonna just self-tap right through here and just self-tap this frame right to the face. So and you have up here, you'll self-tap all the way around. No big deal. I have a feeling though, and Jonathan was looking at it, that the opening is probably going to have to get cut to the size of this panel. So when you remove this frame system, the face might stop here. And that could be trouble in that obviously now there's nothing, these screw holes are in space. There's nothing to screw to. And now we're going to be relying on just the 3/4 inch beauty ring. So that's where we have steps 2 or 3, options 2 or 3. So first option is hopefully once that frame gets cut out, there's meat for this thing to purchase into and you just self-tap this thing right to the existing skin and be done with it. Second option would be that, let's say this is the face now, and let's say you get rid of that framing and now all there is the 3/4 inch beauty ring and this is now like floating in nothing. Then bring these with, these are going to be like a secondary, what if this happens kind of thing, and you're going to put these behind this face, the skin. So let's say that this gets cut out here, then you're just going to run this channel with the ribs facing out along the inside here, and then you can run it along the top here and along the bottom, and then that'll be a clamp. So that way what you can do is just take that channel there and instead bring 1/4-20 threaded, fully threaded bolts. So put this thing up to the face of the sign and then go ahead and trap this from behind, and then you go ahead and just clamp it down. And you'll squish this along the top bar, you can squish this to the bottom, and then these will be the long runners that will go, that'll be past the opening here. So just in case you end up with an opening that is the exact size of this, and all you have left is the beauty ring to hold it in place, then you can use this squish method and kind of clamp it all the way around, and that'll hold it in place. If that doesn't work, and if there's too much, problems where maybe these things won't fit in there, or it's just because again, we don't really know once you chop this out what's left. So if it's really bad and if that doesn't work, then your third option, if Curtis and or Jim signs off, is just go ahead and drill symmetric, kind of lay it out nice, and just self-tap right through this flange, and just use the beauty ring as sort of the mounting flange for this whole process. So again, option 1, hopefully if it works out, there's meat left here where you can just self-tap this directly to the thing and you don't have to worry about any of this. And these become redundant. You don't need these. Option 2 is, yes, you do use these as a clamp system if the opening gets cut to just, there's hardly anything left. Then you can clamp from behind this system. For this system, be sure, fabrication, make sure that some 1/4-20s threaded, all the way threaded, fully threaded, get included with this. Install, make sure you get these bolts to go with. And then the third option would be just self tap this thing directly through the flange, and you'll see the screws, touch them up, whatever. So that's where I just wanted to touch bases on the install method that I saw with this. So hopefully that works for you. On the bottom for install, I added 090. I didn't know how big this was already, but I went ahead and added 090 around to this to make up for the bend. So I didn't know how tight or how loose this bottom one is. So good luck with that. I just tried to make it as universal and easy to install as possible. But anyway, so but again, just guessing off of this, it looks like the 3/4 inch flange that I added around it should be okay. So like that 3-inch flange or the 3/4 inch flange that I added for the beauty ring should come right around like that. So again, if you chop this frame thing out and the opening that we're left with is literally the size of that flange, then that's your choice. If you want to just direct shoot that right to there or use the clamp system if it'll work. So anyway, if you have any questions or want to talk about anything, hit me up.